Prime Minister Honorable Philip J. Pierre acted promptly in response to these developments, recognizing that Sinusha will ultimately feel the impact of these tariffs. During a pre-cabinet meeting on February 3rd, he announced the formation of a task force tasked with overseeing the implications of these tariffs.
The Cabinet of Ministers has formed a task force to deal with the ramifications and the possible implications of a change in both of these policies, namely the imposition of tariffs by the US and the threat of the deportation of non-nationals of the US.
Prime Minister also revealed that the task force will be led by Commerce Minister Honorable Emma Hippolyte. Economist Richard Pittikin commented on the government's decision to establish a task force in response to this issue, noting that while it is beneficial to have one, the critical question remains. Although they can identify the problems and predict the likely impacts, what actions can they actually take?
We can try and reduce maybe VAT on some of these goods to negate the increase in the price. We can waive duties or other things in some of them, but all of that is going to affect the revenues that government gets. So one way or another, whether it be by reduced government revenues or increased prices passed on to the consumer, it's going to affect us. CARICOM is dealing with it as a block, and they have no power. They really and truly do not have the impact other than trying to tell countries, try to buy directly, try to grow your own food so you're not as reliant on imported food, try and do domestic manufacturing, do whatever is possible to avoid being purely an importer of all goods and services, which is easier said than done.
Pittikin spoke with NBC Prime about these recent tariff developments, stating that tariff wars have historically not ended well and that this situation appears to be heading in the same direction.
We all know that increasing the price of imported goods by tariffs is meant to encourage consumers to buy cheaper domestic products, which will then boost their own economy's growth. And one of the things that US, and it's not just Trump, it's obviously a lot of his big business supporters is trying to do is to move manufacturing as much as possible away from China and back to the United States.
He explained that while Trump may view these tariffs as a means to stimulate the U.S. economy, protect jobs, and increase tax revenue, studies conducted during Trump's first term indicated that such measures ultimately raised prices for American consumers. Therefore, it poses a significant risk. The economist and former consultant emphasized that China exports a substantial amount to the United States, as do many other countries, and they will likely seek to reach a common ground to avoid losing those markets. However, he pointed out that Trump consistently justifies these tariffs by claiming they are necessary to combat the flow of opioid fentanyl into the United States. Kayla Edwin, NBC Prime.